Tara!
Let's talk.
Tara!
Let's talk.
Okay, guys, we are here in the office of the consul. Tara! Let's talk with the consul. Yeah.
It's actually our first time here in your office.
Yeah, we've never been here.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
I've been to Waterford so many times.
I
I
know.
assumed you've been here. And this
Yeah,
is the
I know.
second iteration of the office. This is the bigger one because of COVID.
Big-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, we've
actually
never
not.
been
I
here.
only saw it on Facebook, when you're posting.
Okay.
Whenever
It's
the
like,
consulate will
oh.
post, yeah.
So when I came in, this is the office.
It's very relaxed
Yes.
office. The open door, we have a waiting room outside.
And is it air conditioned?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
air
Yeah, that's
conditioning,
why,
so
you can
Yeah.
hear the... kind
It's
of a hum.
actually quite secure. We have we had no windows at all, and after a while I put a window because we
Oh,
needed.
yeah.
Yeah,
For the
but it's-
COVID, maybe.
No, it was more security.
Security,
Because
oh,
we'd be
yeah.
retaining passports in
I
the
suppose.
past, so not
You
so
have
much anymore.
CCTV here.
We do. We have
do.
we have the same grade as the prison, so facial
Oh.
recognition, everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, beware, guys, huh?
Well,
No,
it's,
I'm just
it's,
joking.
it's relaxed.
Yeah.
We've only ever looked at the CCTV once.
Once, yeah.
Once.
Yeah,
So
just in case.
That's
It's
good.
really positive. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, we are here actually celebrating the 126th Philippine Independence Day, and we're glad that we've given time by the consul. Laura,
Yes,
Mrs.
thank
K?
you so much for inviting
You're welcome.
us.
You're welcome.
Yes,
It was an invitation open to everyone. It was a
Yes,
small,
yes.
low-key event. We were aiming more for barrio fiesta than formal event, but
yeah.
we still had our best dress, and thank you, Laura, for joining us. I'm
Yeah.
not sure you were aware we had that, but Laura was one of our final contestants.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really for fun.
Mhm.
This
Yeah,
was
just for
really
fun,
low key
yeah.
for fun, and this
Family
is
event.
most likely my last Independence
Right.
Day event. So with the opening of the embassy coming soon, the very very welcome opening of the embassy soon. I said let's keep it relaxed. We'll spend the money on food. We're not going to charge admission. And then the Ilocano group have a very formal event. They're very well organized. They have a formal event next week.
Next week.
Yeah, so there'll be both sides of the Independence Day celebration, the formal and the informal.
That's nice, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about like the Philippine Independence Day in Ireland. It's always being celebrated by few different groups, I'd say. But maybe in the well, by next year, hopefully the Philippine Embassy will host rather than individually, like
I'm sure the embassy will. I was part of the first Philippine
Yeah.
embassy, and I was part of the first Philippine embassy in Dublin.
yeah.
Big event we had, but that is still limiting because there's always capacity issues. There's a cost. I think at the time, which was probably 10 years ago, it was €50. I think
Oh.
the event next week, the formal event, is around €60 or €70. It's a big cost.
It is.
And if you travel to the Philippines, there's no one Independence Day event.
No.
Every barangay and even
Yeah.
the subdivision within the barangay will have it, and that's really part of the culture that I've learned when I was living in the Philippines. That it's not only one, and that's the idea I had here. Let's have a really simple, low-key event. We'll have the formal event next week. We'll probably have a flag raising during the week. In fact, I know there's a flag raising planned in Dublin, but I'm actually in Waterford down your way on
Okay.
Wednesday, so I won't be able to attend it. But that's the nature of the role I'm in. But yeah, in relation to Independence Day celebrations, it would be great to have one community where they all come together, hopefully led by the embassy next year. But it won't stop other groups continuing their
Of
own
course,
celebration. And it's something that should be acknowledged, particularly when you live so far from the Philippines.
Yeah.
You have to maintain that link to your culture by celebrating it.
Yes.
Yes, that's
actually
nice.
True.
Yeah. And so far, having been the consul for the last, how long was it? 5 years
I
or
think
something?
it's 5 years now.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was director of operations and somewhat acting consul for another 5 years before that.
Okay.
So in between me finishing as director of operations and becoming consul, there was probably a year and a half or 2 years, which I was still quite active with Outreach Ireland, and we done some high profile stuff. We done some very simple things to help the community. So all in all, probably I'm about 12 years working with the Filipino community.
Oh, wow.
If you wanted to go back further, you could count the embassy work I done with the Philippine Embassy, and then I was I built an orphanage in the Philippines. So I've had my heartstrings were pulled by Filipinos for probably the last
Okay.
20 years.
The last one. Oh my God, yeah.
How is that almost half of your life? No, that's
Yeah,
not
I'm happy to agree it's half of my life exactly. If we can go with that, we can sign that. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
And,
a fantastic ride, as they say. Yeah.
It was something that was never planned. It was something that just happened. Naturally. I attended university in the Philippines, and I fell into a position where I was able to build an orphanage, and I built it and ran it. I came back, I interned with the embassy, I fell into the position where I was hired. I worked hard, they then asked me to help them open the consulate, and it just went one to another, and it kind of was a natural path that I followed. But it's something I was passionate about for a long time.
But I wonder, for those Filipinos who are kind of watching at the moment, what's the qualification to be like a consul, like in Ireland, for example, or even like in the UK? If you're not, yeah.
Generally speaking, you need to be a citizen of that country.
Okay.
So in my case, you'd be a citizen of Ireland, and that could be a natural-born citizen like myself, or a former Filipino citizen, like the many of our kababayan that are here in Ireland. Then you should be have very strong links to the Philippines, both business and personal as well. Although the personal one, I'm not sure if it's a requirement, but it's always a plus because you'll understand the culture of society. And then just be financially stable enough to support the office, because it's an unfunded office. This is the thing.
It's still a misconception for our fellow men there that probably they're thinking that you're actually getting salary or something.
Yeah.
It's always.
And there's this thing that I always hear. Oh, the money that we pay for our authentication or birth certificate registration, things like that, it goes to the consul.
Yeah,
I always hear
it goes directly to my bag. I put it into my bag, and then I go to the bank, and then I lodge it, and then I transfer it to the embassy. There is
just to clear it.
There is some minor costs that are covered, like part of the rent, but not everything.
Papers and obviously miscellaneous like
basic
that.
stuff, basic stuff. But if you try to open an office with the funds that are allocated, you definitely couldn't do it in Dublin. I think you'd struggle in the island of Ireland with that. But you definitely couldn't have an office like this with the facilities.
It's good to clear that.
Yeah.
Sa mga kababayan
it's probably every second week we're telling people we're all volunteers. What? But you're here at 7 a.m. Yeah, because I have a full-time job. This is my only day off. My
but if you
plans are set
don't
around
reiterate that to our kababayans, they always think, oh, they're the government. You're paid to do this. All the volunteers here.
We can see the tone changes. We'll have someone. Generally, it's before it gets to me. So we have different stages. You meet some of the staff that help you with their documents, and you can see someone being a little bit irate, and the impression they're giving you is, it's your job, just do it.
Yes.
And you're paid to do it.
I politely remind them that, oh, excuse me, this person arrived at 7 a.m. this morning. They opened up. You arrived with nothing. They're helping you with your document, and they're not actually paid to do their job. This is a part-time voluntary role. Oh, and the attitude will change. But it's not something we constantly remind people of. When we need to, like in circumstances like that, we do, and the tone generally changes. But it's something you would only do because you love the work. And all of the volunteers, all of the staff in the consulate genuinely love what they do. So that's why they do it. It's not something you could do just to say that, oh, I'm an officer of the consulate. Oh, I'm a consul. It's not enough. The title is not even, it doesn't resemble close enough to justify the work. You either have a passion for it or you don't.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that don't have a title, that don't have a prominent role, that are doing significant work in the Filipino community, in the wider community. And while this position carries a title and a role and responsibilities, there's people out there doing equally good work. And they should be acknowledged as well. They don't get the criticism that comes with the role. But, that's the case of any kind of politically related position will always have some criticism. And it's, part of it is fair. It keeps you in check, but some of it is just unjust.
Yeah.
But it's not only me because I'm the consul, it's the staff that are with me, the team that are around me. The event today was completely voluntary run.
Yeah.
Everyone woke early this morning, got up, the balloons, the sound gear, the food, everything was set
Yeah.
up by volunteers.
And did you try Laura's cassava cake?
I hope you did.
I put one aside and I put it in my container because I was serving the food. When I came back, it was gone. But I still have the one I put aside.
Okay,
But the rest of it was taken. So
Taken, yeah.
I think it was it went down quite well. But I have one set aside. I put aside.
That's
earlier.
nice. That's nice. Yeah. We're happy that for us we were able to contribute somehow. When you were just starting, during the pandemic we did the what was it? The Halloween. I think we kind of host, if you may call it like that, online. So we did that, and
these things are there was hundreds of different small activities that people did to help our fellow countrymen through the pandemic, and stuff like that was a great help. It was a really great help. And even you guys hosted a small outreach for consular services, not for passports, but for my team to go down. That went down really well. We had a lot of emails after saying, would you come back? Now, the reality is it's supply and demand. If there's a need for us to be there, we'll be there.
Yes.
If the community got together and say, hey, we have like 40 transactions, if you could come, no problem, we'll do it, and we'll do that for any community. But hopefully it'll be the embassy taking over that role. Hopefully.
Then, and we don't know yet who's going to be taking over,
and those people, they are paid to do it.
But they're career diplomats. But it's not the only thing they'll do.
That's the only thing.
And having worked in the embassy, I've seen the standard policy in the embassy is about 9 o'clock in the morning until about 7 p.m. In reality, the third secretary, second secretary, they're there at 8 o'clock and they're leaving at 8. And then they're answering emails at home. And that's the nature of the career they're in. And it's not because of extra pay, because they don't get overtime. It's just, this is the workload. They will be understaffed and they will work hard. But it's not only passports and legalizations.
No.
There's a lot of political actions, bilateral agreements, and bilateral agreements is, for those of you who are not aware, so they would negotiate with the various different countries for different agreements for trade, and even something as simple as passport.
It's gonna be big.
But even as something as simple as your passport, there's I think 44 countries that Filipinos can enter visa free. That's due to bilateral agreements set by the embassy staff, by the ambassador, by the political staff, negotiating with that country for freedom of movement between the two countries. And that is what an embassy does, part of it. It will increase trade. Ireland is outside of the UK, the Philippines is the biggest importer of pork products. Mostly pork skin for chicharron, a lot of it comes from Ireland. These are things that most people are not aware of. But
good to know, huh?
The trade will increase greatly. The Irish ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador William Carlos, is doing great work there in promoting Ireland. And when we have a Philippine ambassador here in Ireland, he'll be doing similar good work to promote the Philippines as a whole. Not only nurses, not only the call centers, but the Philippine nation will be promoted.
That's very nice.
And then, of course, the Filipinos will be served.
Especially now that
there's a lot of...
I think it's tripled or quadrupled the Filipinos here in Ireland now. Would we have a data?
There's no accurate statistics at the moment. They should be released by the Census Office soon. But the information, the census have the information. You'd need to pay them yourself in order to extract that information ahead of the schedule. But it's scheduled to release. They'll release population by nationality, by origin, and by people holding dual citizenship. So by origin, it's people of Filipino origin, which is a very different figure to Filipino nationals.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
last census of 2016, there was 3,499 Filipinos without a second
With the
citizenship.
second, yeah.
That's a
But
very
now-
small number.
Small number,
But
yeah.
now,
It's probably only doubled
yeah.
because
Mm.
every time you have a new batch coming in,
Yeah.
you've also
After
a
5
new
years
batch
of turning Irish.
yeah,
and
becoming
then they're
Irish.
not reacquiring their citizenship
Yes.
in general.
Yeah.
And that's something I'd really, if it's one of the last things I do as consul, I'd really strongly promote the process of dual citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something
We-
that in COVID really shone because
Mm.
non-Filipinos couldn't return home.
Yeah.
I've had the dubious task of informing a number of different people they couldn't return to the Philippines to
Because
bury
they have no
siblings.
pass- Yeah.
Mm.
One particular person couldn't bury his child.
Because like
Oh my God.
because like me and John, we're dual, but we don't have the passport. We just have
You
the
don't-
certificate.
Yes,
Mm.
but there's no difference. Everyone has a great grandmother that never traveled, but they're no less Filipino. So a travel document is different to citizenship.
Mm.
Once you get your citizenship, that's it. You don't need to do anything, but you're always a Filipino citizen.
Yeah.
The only thing restricting you is you
To
can't
run for the
you can't
office?
run for a public
Office,
office.
yeah.
That's all, yeah.
However, if you suddenly had a calling or over your life you developed a calling to run for public office, you
You
can
can
always
just
surrender
run.
your Irish citizenship.
Yeah. Mm.
But don't surrender it, Don. 'Cause we need your we need your what do you call the pension. we need your pension.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
So it's good, thank you very much for your time, Consul Garrett, Raymond Garrett, and we're delighted that we were able to talk to you right now.
It's always a pleasure. Always
Yeah.
a pleasure to talk. It's not the
Right.
first time and hopefully won't be the last.
Won't be the
No.
last, yeah. Give us a buzz when you're down in Waterford,
Yeah,
and then
no, definitely will.
know,
Definitely will.
we'll have
And
some coffee.
Yeah, I'm down there a lot, so yeah.
Okay, guys. So until next,
Ta-ra!
tara!
Let's
Let's
talk.
Let's talk.
Tara!
Let's talk.
Tara!
Let's talk.